Okay, guys, we are going to work on our second lesson in chapter 10. Yesterday, we worked on reading picture graphs, and today we are going to make some picture graphs. So if you look at the first page here, we see we have a baseball and then some squares after the baseball, and we have a bat and we have some squares after the bat. We're going to use those squares to draw circles in for our pictures for our picture graph. So first we have 6 baseballs. So when you look at this, right, here's the baseball. All the way on the end over here, that's where I want to write my number 6. So I'm going to write a 6 there. And then after the bat, we have 4 bats. So we're going to write our number 4. Now we're going to draw circles to represent those numbers. So that's going to be our picture. So for our baseball, we have 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And bats, again, we have 4, so we're going to draw 4 circles. There's 3 and there's 4. So now we have to figure out which has more. And I see that question right here. Which has more, baseballs or bats? When I look back up at my graph, I can see where they end having matches, just like yesterday. So I'm going to draw a line there to help me remember. And then I can see baseballs, we have more baseballs than bats. So I'm going to circle baseballs. So instead of just reading the picture graph, we created the picture graph by drawing our circles. We're going to, if you have your papers at home, turn your paper over. Otherwise, you can just take a look here. All right, we're going to start up here at the top in the purple box. And the question says, are there more black or white sheep in the picture? Make a picture graph to find out. So we have this picture right here that we're going to use to get our information to put into our graph. The title of our graph is Sheep in the Meadow. And it shows we have black sheep and we have white sheep. And it's saying that each circle stands for one sheep. And the question that we're going to fill in, or the sentence, says there are more blank sheep. Well, the way that I like to figure this out is to start up here at the top and go from left to right and then move down. That way I can make sure I don't miss any of the sheep when I'm counting them or crossing them out. So if I start at the top, I'm going to X out this one. That is a white sheep. So I'm going to draw a circle. Then I'm going to come down here. Oh, there's another white sheep. Draw another circle. Black sheep. Keep going from left to right. White sheep. Draw my circle. White sheep. Draw my circle. Black sheep, draw a circle. Black sheep, draw a circle. White sheep, draw a circle. So I now have every single one of my sheep crossed off, and I drew a circle for each one of the sheep, and I did it one at a time. So now I can look at my picture graph that I just created right here. I can see, oh, there's 1 black and white. There's 2 black and white, 3 black and white. Oh, I'm missing one here. So that's where I'm going to draw my line to say there's going to be our differences. So now, which one do we have more of? Because that's what it says right here. We want to know more. Well, since I don't have any here and I have some here, I know I have more white sheep. So I'm going to write the word white. All right, we're going to continue this. Now, since we're not around any of our friends to be able to ask for votes, I'm going to make up some numbers for us to use. Because down here it says, do more children like cats or dogs? Ask 10 friends which pet they like better. Well, we can't really ask friends, so I'm going to give you the numbers to use for this. And we're going to draw one circle for each child's answer. So what we're going to do first is we're going to just come up with our numbers. Now remember, we're only asking for 10 people. So whatever our two numbers are have to equal 10. So I'm a cat person, and my husband, Mr. Grinstead, is a dog person. So we're going to kind of play it like that. So let's see. We'll say there are 6 that like cats, and then 4 that like dogs. So now we know those numbers. We have to draw our pictures. Now, remember, we don't draw pictures of cats and we don't draw pictures of dogs. We're going to use a circle. So if I have cats and I see that there are 6, I'm going to draw 6 circles, 1 in each box. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And dogs, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, if we were actually in school and we were voting, every time someone would give their vote, we would draw a circle. So it might wind up where we're going back and forth. We might say cat, cat, cat. Oh, dog, dog, cat, dog, going back and forth. But I gave you the numbers today. So now let's answer our questions. Number 1, how many children chose, what's that? Cats. How many chose cats? Here's our cats. The answer is 6. We had 6 children pick cats. Now question 2, how many children chose dogs? Go up and look at the dogs, and it's 4. So we're going to write a 4. Again, before we answer this last question, all our answers are coming right from our picture graph. We are getting all of our information from our picture graph. Now, question 3, which pet did more children choose? We have to circle. So we're going to either circle cat or dog. Which one had a larger number of votes? We could either draw our line right here and then look, or we can look at our numbers. Which number is bigger, 6 or 4? 6 is bigger. So we're going to go back, and what is that? Those are the cats. So I'm going to circle my cat. So looking at this page, we were able to figure out that there were more white sheep, and we were able to figure out the different number of children that like different pets and which one had more votes. If you have your papers at home with you, put this paper off to the side and get your next paper. We're going to continue working and making picture graphs. All right, this is the next paper. And again, we're going to have to come up with numbers. I'll make up some numbers because we can't ask 10 friends, unfortunately. It's asking, which activity do the most children like best? And it's our favorite activity. Our choices are reading, computer, and sports. We're asking 10 friends, and we'll draw one circle for each vote. And again, down here it shows us each circle stands for one child. But first we have to get our numbers. So let's see. I hope this is how it is. That, let's say, 5 children like reading the best, and 2 children like computers the best, and 3 children like sports the best. So when I look at my numbers, 2 plus 3 equals 5, and 5 plus 5 equals 10. So I have my 10 friends. Now I need to draw my circles to actually make my picture graph. So for reading, we need to have 5 circles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. For computers, we need 2. 1, 2. And for sports, we need 3. 1, 2, 3. Now we're going to answer some questions using the information that we have right here in our picture graph. Number 4, how many children chose, and I see a picture of a book. Go up here, there it is, reading. How many picked reading? 5. So I'm going to write 5. Now let's look at question 5. How many children chose computers and sports? That word "and" right there, that's a key word. That means a plus sign. So how many chose computers plus sports? We're going to add. So let's take a look up here. Computers, we have how many? 2. So to help me, I'm going to write a 2, and I know that "and" means plus. How many chose sports? 3. So I'm going to write 3. And how much does that equal? 2 plus 3 equals 5. Let's look at number 6. Which activity did the most children choose? We're going to circle. So we're going to have to circle one of these pictures. So remember the word most, which one has the largest number of votes? Well, if I come up here, I have 5 for reading, 2 for computers, 3 for sports. Which of those numbers is the biggest? 5. I can also look at my actual graph. Well, here's 2. Oh, missing one here. These are still a match. No more matches, and it's reading. So I'm going to circle the book. Now, we can't make answer number 7 because we're not at school. Because it's asking, did all of your classmates make a picture graph that looks the same? That would be if you got to walk around the room and just ask all of your friends. Then no, it may not be the same. But since we're doing this all together, yes, they do look the same. Let's look down here at number 8. Write your own question about the graph. That could be hard, but let's take some looks at the questions that we have. Here it's how many children chose reading? Well, we could maybe ask how many children chose computers or how many children chose sports. This question, how many children chose computers and sports? Well, maybe we could say how many children chose reading and computers or how many chose reading and sports. So you can take other questions that you've been asked and just change the activity. We're not going to write that today just because that's going to take some more time, but you can talk about that one with your adult at home. What would be another question you might use? And then it's asking down here for us to look at the question and then write the answer. We're going to go ahead and move on to the back of this page. Remember, you can do 8 and 9 just talking with an adult or maybe a brother or sister at home. So let's turn it over to the back. All right, we have, looks like some more picture graphs. Let's look up here and see what it says. Matt made this picture graph to show the paint colors his friends like best. Okay, so let's take a look at the graph and get our information. Favorite paint color. We have blue, red, and green. And again, each one of those circles stands for one child. So let's go ahead and count how many votes we have for each and write them at the end. So for blue, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So what number are we going to write at the end? 5. Let's look at red. 1, 2, 3. If we have 3 circles, that means we're going to write the number 3. And the last color, green. That's my favorite color. Let's take a look at how many voted for it. 1, 2. So if 2 voted, that means we're going to write a number 2. All right. So let's take a look at some questions we're going to have to answer using that information. How many children chose a paint color? That's not asking how many chose a specific color. It's just asking how many chose all together. You could answer that a couple of ways. You could add these 3 numbers together, or we could count every single circle. Let's try that way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we have 10 circles. That means 10 children voted. But let's just double check adding our numbers. I know, I'm going to change my color here, that 3 plus 2 makes 5, and 5 plus 5, that's a doubles. 5 plus 5 equals 10. I got the same answer. Let's move on now to number 11. How many fewer, keyword, fewer children chose green than blue? Remember, fewer means smaller. So how many less, how many smaller, how many fewer children picked green than blue? There's a couple of ways we can solve this. Let's first look up at our graph. Blue, we have 5. Green, we have 2. These are all empty. So let's draw our line. Oh, I'm still using green. There's our line. So how many green are missing that have a blue partner? Let's count the empty boxes. 1, 2, 3. So we have 3 fewer. The other way we could solve this, and I'm going to use a different color again, is we could say we have 5 that voted for blue minus the 3, or not 3, I made a mistake, that's okay. 5 minus the 2 that voted for green means we have 3 fewer, 3 that did not vote. All right, so you can solve that either way. Let's take a look now at number 12. Complete the picture graph to show the number of flowers. And we have flowers in the vase. Here's the vase, here are the flowers, and our choices are red and yellow. And we're going to draw a circle for each flower. Now, who can remember how we're going to figure out how many flowers for each color? I want you to think about that. Yes, we are going to cross out one flower at a time, starting at the top, going to the right, then moving down. So when I do that, my first one, that's a yellow flower. Gonna draw a circle. Another yellow flower, another circle. Another yellow flower, draw a circle. A red flower, I draw my circle next to red. Another red flower, a yellow flower, and the last one, a red flower. It doesn't ask us to do this, but let's count how many of each color flower. Here's our red. Let's count. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to write a 3 right there. And now let's count our yellow. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to write a 4 at the end. Which color flower do we have more of? Do we have more red or do we have more yellow? Looking at our picture graph, we have more yellow. If you have any other questions than maybe what you've already asked your adult at home, you can contact your teacher. Also, you will have an assignment using this information on Google Classroom.